This is Next Level Studios, and what you're about to hear is not easy, but it's necessary. Every year, millions of children are harmed in ways that never make the news. Not in war zones, not by strangers in dark alleys, but by people they trust. Family members, coaches, teachers, neighbors. Behind closed doors, in places meant to feel safe. This documentary isn't about fear, it's about truth. It's about exposing the silent epidemic of child sexual abuse that has lived in the shadows for too long. We're going to show you how it happens, how predators hide in plain sight, how to recognize the red flags before it's too late, and most importantly, what you can do to stop it. Because if we don't say something, who will? This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't a scare tactic. These are facts, backed by data, survivor testimony, and decades of research. The pain is real, but so is the power we hold when we finally face it. By the end of this documentary, you'll know how to recognize it, how to protect the children around you, and exactly who to contact when something doesn't feel right. The goal here is simple: protect the innocent, expose the truth, break the cycle. Let's begin. Child sexual abuse is one of the most underreported crimes in the world. And it's not because it's rare, it's because it hides behind silence, shame, and fear. Statistics tell part of the story: 1 in 4 girls, 1 in 13 boys, before they even turn 18. And those are just the reported cases. Experts believe the real numbers are far higher. But why don't we hear about it more? Because predators don't look like monsters. They often look like someone you'd trust, someone you already know, a friend, a family member, a respected figure in the community. That's what makes this so dangerous. In many cases, children are groomed over time, manipulated into keeping secrets, into thinking what's happening is normal, or even their fault. And the systems meant to protect them, schools, churches, families, they often fail. Not because they're evil, but because they're uncomfortable facing the truth. And that silence gives predators room to operate. Meanwhile, the children suffer in silence, developing anxiety, depression, behavioral issues, or withdrawing completely. Some carry this trauma for the rest of their lives, never understanding why they feel broken. This isn't just happening in low-income communities or faraway places. It happens everywhere, from gated suburbs to rural towns. Abuse knows no boundaries. Race, religion, wealth, it touches them all. And the scariest part? It thrives in our discomfort, in our unwillingness to talk about it. That's why this documentary exists, to rip the cover off the silence and expose the truth underneath. Because until we face it, we can't fight it. Predators don't just snap. They plan, they observe, they build trust, and they blend in. Most child abusers aren't strangers lurking in the shadows. They're people already inside the child's circle. A relative, a family friend, a youth pastor, a babysitter, a teacher. They earn trust first of both the child and the adults around them. This process is called grooming. At first, it looks harmless. A little extra attention, gifts, compliments, one-on-one time. They slowly blur boundaries, testing what they can get away with. They may offer to babysit for free or insist the child is like family. But it's not about kindness, it's about access. They often start by isolating the child emotionally, making them feel special, seen, or even misunderstood by others. Over time, they normalize physical closeness, hugs, tickling, play fighting. And once trust is secured, they escalate. But by then, the child is confused, afraid, conditioned to think this is just a secret between us. Predators also groom adults. They act generous, helpful, trustworthy, the kind of person people defend. So when a child speaks up, if they ever do, they're often not believed. Abusers count on silence, on shame, on disbelief. They study what works and who's vulnerable. Some even target single mothers, knowing they may be overwhelmed and grateful for the extra help. It's calculated, and it's chilling. The scariest predators are not the ones who hide in the dark. It's the ones who smile in your face and convince you they'd never hurt a child. Understanding this behavior is the first step towards stopping it. Most children don't come out and say, "I'm being abused," not because they don't want help, but because they don't know how. That's why it's critical to recognize the signs, because the earlier we catch it, the faster we can intervene. The first signs are often emotional. A once happy child might become withdrawn, anxious, or aggressive. Sudden mood swings, nightmares, trouble sleeping. Some may develop depression, low self-esteem, or begin acting out in school. These aren't just phases, they're cries for help. Then there are behavioral red flags. A child might suddenly become unusually fearful around certain adults or resist being alone with someone they once liked. Others may show sexualized behavior or knowledge that's inappropriate for their age. That doesn't mean they're bad kids. It means someone has exposed them to something they were never meant to experience. Watch for physical changes too. Unexplained injuries, pain while sitting or walking, frequent urinary tract infections, or a sudden refusal to use the bathroom at school. These could be indicators. But remember, not all abuse leaves physical marks. Another sign is secrecy. If a child becomes overly protective of their phone, online accounts, or starts receiving gifts you didn't give them, that's a red flag. Online predators often groom through messages, chats, and social media platforms. Most importantly, trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. You don't have to be 100% sure to take action. You just have to care enough to ask questions, because a missed pin sign can mean a lifetime of pain. But a single adult paying attention, that can change everything. Behind every statistic is a name, a face, a childhood interrupted. Some survivors live with the pain in silence for decades. Others speak out early, only to be ignored or blamed. But all carry scars, emotional, psychological, spiritual. And their voices matter more than ever. Like the boy who spent years being abused by a trusted coach, only to be told by adults, "Don't ruin his career." Or the girl who finally found the courage to speak up about a family member, only to be called a liar, shamed, cast out by her own relatives. These are not rare stories. They are common and devastating. Many survivors grow up struggling with relationships, addiction, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. Some drop out of school. Others become overachievers, trying to bury their trauma beneath perfection. But no matter how it shows up, the damage is deep. And yet, many of them are still here, still standing, still healing. They are not defined by what happened to them. They are defined by the strength it took to survive it. When survivors speak, we must listen, not interrogate, not doubt, just listen. Because for every voice we hear, there are countless more still afraid to speak. One survivor put it like this: "People think the abuse ended when it stopped, but really, that's when it began." This segment isn't here to re-traumatize. It's here to remind us there are children right now going through what these survivors already endured. And they're hoping, praying that someone notices, that someone speaks up, that someone cares. Be that someone. The most powerful protection you can give a child is truth, not fear, not shame, just honest, age-appropriate truth. You don't have to scare kids to keep them safe, but you do have to talk, early, clearly, and often. Start by teaching the basics. Their body belongs to them. No one has the right to touch them without permission. Not family, not friends, not anyone. Use simple language. Call body parts what they are. If we can say elbow, we can say private parts. That clarity removes confusion, something predators rely on. Let them know that it's okay to say no, even to adults. Help them understand the difference between secrets and surprises. Surprises are temporary and fun. Secrets that make them feel scared, confused, or uncomfortable, those should never be kept. Create a safe space. Ask open questions. Has anyone ever made you feel uncomfortable? Is there anything you want to talk about? And if a child opens up, stay calm, even if what they say is shocking. Your reaction teaches them whether it's safe to keep going. Don't dismiss their feelings. Don't change the subject. Don't brush it off. Let them know they're believed, that they did the right thing by telling you, that you're here to protect them. And repeat these conversations, not once, over time. Because as kids grow, the risks change, and so does what they need to hear. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Because silence doesn't keep children safe. Awareness does. If something doesn't feel right, say something. You don't need proof. You don't need to be 100% sure. You just need to care enough to act. The worst mistake you can make is doing nothing. If a child hints at something or shows signs you can't explain, believe them. Listen calmly. Don't press for details. Just thank them for telling you and reassure them you did the right thing. Then take action. Start by documenting what you've seen or heard, dates, behavior changes, anything unusual. This information can be crucial if you report it. If the child is in immediate danger, call 911. If it's not an emergency but you suspect abuse, contact your state or local child protective services. You can report anonymously in most areas. You can also call the Childhelp National Child Abuse Hotline, 1-800-422-4453. Trained counselors are available 24/7 to guide you through what to do. Do not confront the suspected abuser yourself. That could put the child and yourself at greater risk. Let professionals investigate. If the abuse is happening in a school, church, or daycare setting, notify the appropriate authorities but still report it independently to Child Protection Services. Institutions sometimes protect their own before protecting a child. And if you're unsure, call the hotline anyway. They'll help you figure out your next steps. This is not about ruining someone's life. It's about protecting one. One phone call can change everything. For one child, it might be the lifeline they've been waiting for. Don't stay silent. You don't have to face this alone. Whether you're a parent, a teacher, a neighbor, or a survivor yourself, there are people and organizations ready to help. Start with the Childhelp National Child Abuse Hotline, 800-422-4453, available 24/7, free, confidential. They'll connect you to resources in your state, walk you through what to do, and help you take action safely. If you're outside the U.S., check your country's child protection hotline. Many nations now have emergency reporting systems and trained counselors ready to support you. Here are additional resources. RAIN, Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. Website, www.rain.org. Hotline, 1-800-656-HOPE, 1-800-656-4673. They offer survivor support, legal guidance, and confidential chat services online. Darkness to Light. Website, www.d2l.org. A national organization focused on preventing child sexual abuse through education and training. They offer free courses for parents and youth leaders. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Website, www.missingkids.org. Report online. Exploitation, trafficking, or suspicious behavior anonymously. Stop It Now. Website, www.stopitnow.org. They offer advice to adults who are concerned about someone's behavior before harm happens. For survivors, you are not alone. Support groups, trauma-informed therapists, and crisis lines exist in every state and country. Healing is possible, and you deserve it. Save these numbers. Share them. Post them. You never know who might need them. Sometimes the difference between lifelong trauma and a path to safety is one person having the right information at the right time. Be that person. You made it to the end of this documentary. That means you care, and that makes you dangerous to the silence, to the shame, and to the cycle. Now it's time to act. Talk to your kids, your nieces, your students, not once, but regularly. Make it normal for them to speak up, to ask questions, to say when something feels wrong. Watch the adults around them, not just strangers, but family, coaches, teachers, pastors, mentors. Trust your gut. If someone gives you a bad feeling, don't ignore it. Predators thrive in doubt and politeness. Protecting a child is more important than protecting someone's reputation. Support survivors. If someone opens up to you, don't question their story. Don't minimize their pain. Just believe them. Your reaction could be the first step in their healing. Share this video. Start conversations. Post the hotline numbers in your workplace, your church, your community center. Most people want to help, they just don't know how. Now you do. And if you suspect abuse, don't freeze. Don't wait for someone else to do something. Be the one who picks up the phone, makes the report, saves a life, because silence protects the predator. But your voice, that protects the child. This is how cycles are broken. This is how lives are saved. This is how we fight back. If you found this powerful, don't let it stop here. And take the next step in becoming someone who doesn't just know the truth, but does something about it.